Though officially neutral during World War II, Spain under General Francisco Franco walked a tightrope between ideological alignment and diplomatic caution. While the Spanish government never formally joined the Axis powers, Franco's regime maintained strong ties to Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy and offered subtle yet significant support. This shadowy cooperation helped the Axis war effort in certain ways, even as Spain publicly maintained a stance of neutrality. Franco's fascist foundations. Spain's ties to the Axis powers began years before World War II. Franco had come to power in 1939 after winning the Spanish Civil War with major military aid from Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini. In return, Spain's new regime aligned itself ideologically with fascism. While the country was war-torn and economically devastated, it emerged as a sympathetic partner, if not an official ally, to the Axis cause. Franco's Spain was staunchly anti-communist, authoritarian, and militaristic. These shared values with Hitler and Mussolini shaped Spain's wartime behavior, even if Franco knew his country was in no position to enter another war. Diplomacy with a hidden agenda. Spain declared non-belligerency in 1940, a term that allowed for greater flexibility than neutrality. Franco hoped to extract concessions from Hitler in exchange for future cooperation, and negotiations even took place in October 1940 at the infamous Hendaye meeting between Hitler and Franco. Franco demanded food, weapons, and colonial territories in North Africa as the price for Spain's entry into the war. Hitler, frustrated by Franco's high demands and Spain's lack of readiness, ultimately chose not to press Spain further. Still, the meeting made clear that Franco was willing to aid the Axis if it suited his interests. Covert support to the Axis. Despite staying out of open warfare, Spain provided numerous forms of covert and logistical support to Nazi Germany and its allies. The Blue Division, División Azul in 1941, after Hitler invaded the Soviet Union, Franco allowed a volunteer unit of Spanish troops to fight alongside the Wehrmacht on the Eastern Front. Numbering over 40,000 men over time, the Blue Division fought brutally in the siege of Leningrad and other campaigns against Soviet forces. Economic assistance. Spain exported valuable raw materials to Germany, particularly tungsten or wolfram, which was crucial for armor-piercing ammunition. This trade gave the Nazi war machine a critical resource and brought Spain foreign currency. Espionage and intelligence sharing. Spain allowed German intelligence agents to operate within its borders. Spanish cities, especially Madrid and Barcelona, became hubs of espionage. Spain also provided weather reports and information helpful to Axis naval operations, including U-boat campaigns in the Atlantic. Shelter and transit. Spain allowed German ships and submarines access to its ports for repairs and resupply. The country also served as a passageway for Axis agents and couriers, and Franco refused Allied requests to close down these routes. Playing both sides. Despite all this, Franco was careful not to antagonize the Allies too severely. As the tide of the war turned, he dialed back Spain's visible cooperation with Germany. By 1943, with Allied victories in North Africa and Italy, Spain shifted from non-belligerent back to officially neutral and began limiting Axis operations. This strategic pivot was designed to preserve the regime's survival after the war. Spain expelled some German diplomats, reduced tungsten exports, and emphasized its distance from Nazi atrocities. Post-war fallout. After the war, Spain's quasi-alliance with the Axis led to international condemnation. It was excluded from the founding of the United Nations, and many countries withdrew their ambassadors. However, with the onset of the Cold War, Western powers quickly forgot Franco's wartime collaboration. His staunch anti-communism made Spain a useful partner against the Soviet Union, and the U.S. even signed military agreements with the regime in the 1950s. Formally entered World War II as a belligerent, Franco's regime clearly favored the Axis and aided its cause in various indirect ways. Spain acted as a silent ally, one who offered resources, volunteers, and strategic cooperation, all while avoiding the direct consequences of defeat. Franco's balancing act between ideology and pragmatism preserved his rule and left Spain devastated but intact. His calculated neutrality allowed him to shape post-war Spain's future without paying the price exacted from Germany and Italy.